Western Spring Television. Ours it is.
In less than 24 hours, we'll witness the final rounds of matches at the FIFA World Cup, Tokyo Qatar 2022, where the quarterfinals will kickstart and all teams getting up, getting set to light up Qatar as we speak for the quarterfinals. My name is Joseph Atewe. Good morning.
And of course, today is the 8th of December, Thursday, 8th of December 2022. And we can confirm to you that 8 teams have qualified for the 2022 FIFA World Cup Qatar. That's talking about the quarterfinals, including Morocco, an African team. Aside from that, Gianni Infantino is trying to tell us about the fact that the group stages and also the last round of 16 stages is one of the most fun parts of Qatar 2022. Furthermore, we're going to be talking about the National Sports Festival, how much of gold, the amount of gold that Delta State has been able to carry in this one. And definitely we're going to talk about the Under-17 AFCON and also dive into the world of NBA. Good morning. My name is Nengi Ernest.
And I think it's best to start with the World Cup and what to expect. The party starts tomorrow, the round, not the round of 16 now, the quarterfinals. It starts tomorrow with some interesting fixtures. The Argentine fans we hear are bracing themselves up for that game alongside the Brazilian fans, the big boys from the South America. They believe that they will be clinching this one. But let's look at some of the stories coming out of Qatar so far.
And so far, we'll talk about, first and foremost, we're going to be talking about Gianni Infantino because he has ranked Qatar 2022 group stage best ever in FIFA World Cup. I mean, do you share the same perspective and opinion with him, Joseph?
Every World Cup comes with its own beauty, and 2018, I think the quarterfinals was ranked as one of the best we've seen. In 2014, there should be Russia. The group stages, of course, was adjudged to be one of the best. So Gianni Infantino is the president. And like having the owner of this station, no matter what happens, will tell you this is the best in the world. So is the president must speak highly of the competition. But then truth be told, the group stages brought some good memories. Day 3, we saw Saudi Arabia upsetting Argentina.
Of course.
So many things happened at the group stages. So well, to an extent, we want to agree with him that the group stage was beautiful.
Anyways, the FIFA president Gianni Infantino has praised the group and historic knockout phases, saying that, put very simple and very clearly, this has been the best group stage of a World Cup ever. So it's very promising for the remainder of the World Cup. But the matches have been of great quality in beautiful stadiums. We knew that already. And however, as well, the public who was there were incredible. Talking about the fans, let's talk about the fans. I mean, these fans, most especially fans from Morocco, Brazilian fans, they've been able to light up and beautify the whole World Cup, the whole Qatar stadium, most especially when it comes to the fact that the likes of Morocco, the likes of Brazil, they've been able to qualify for the quarterfinals. I think they share in the joy. I mean, I think 2 days ago, every person from Africa, celebrated alongside with Morocco. But then, do you see the quarterfinal stages beating the group stages and the round of 16?
But it's not about beating the group stages right now. I think what we expect in the quarterfinals is beautiful football, as I said. And look at the teams that have qualified to the next round. These are teams that have got huge experience when it comes to the World Cup. Brazil, highest win of the World Cup. Croatia, last tournament finalists. The Netherlands, got to the final in 2010. I'm looking at Argentina, still looking for the first, So there's so much to expect. And talking about the fans, as expected, win or lose, the World Cup is more like a festival. So win or lose, you expect the fans to celebrate. We saw the Cameroonian fans in Doha celebrating after the victory against Brazil, even though they crashed out. It says it's more than winning. It's about the fun that comes with the World Cup. So going into the quarterfinals, just as I said, when the party starts tomorrow, fans, of course, from South America who are already in Qatar as we speak, because you have more of them arriving in Qatar.
Yeah,
I talk about fans of Brazil and Argentina most especially. And they have banners with inscriptions that they are winning the World Cup. And look at it, Argentina, Brazil might clash. That's if they dispatch their opponents in Netherlands and Croatia respectively. So I'm expecting nothing less from the fans to light up
and of course, the players
beautify
also.
The stadium, just as you said, and the players to give us the best of football because of the teams. And on Saturday as well, look at the teams that will be playing. Africa, the entire continent will be behind Morocco taking on Portugal. England, who has had one of the highest number of people, supporters at the competition, will also be taking on the defending champion in France. So the quarterfinals, we expect nothing
It's all cooked up and it's all hyped up already. And let's dive away from that. Let's dive away from what Gianni Infantino has said so far about ranking Qatar 2022 as one of the best group stages and round of last 16. Let's talk about very incidents that occurred, and this is coming from FIFA, and they're saying that they are deeply saddened following the reported death of a migrant worker at a World Cup facility in Qatar. The Filipino national fell to his death while carrying out repairs at a resort used as a training base by the Saudi Arabian team. That was reported by The Athletics. And the Football World Governing Body said it has been made aware of the incident. And definitely, I think FIFA would currently be in a position.
We'll come back and talk about the World Cup. I think we should just go on the break right now. We'll be back to talk more on the World Cup. We'll give you highlights and goals scored at the tournament so far. We'll be back.
Sports is a culture on its own. It has its own language, its own people, with their own way of life. The world of sports is never void of actions, stories, dramas, and scandals. I guess you need a sports show that can walk the walk and talk the talk.
On this show, we answer all your sporting questions. The whens, the whys, the wheres, and even the what ifs. Sports Spring is that show that will give you that new lease of life you've been looking for in sport journalism. Join me, Joseph Atewe,
And your sports Amazon, Nengi Ernest.
on this station, Western Spring Television, channel 190, only on Star Times.
Let's talk sports. Let's speak the most universal language of the world.
Turn it up! It's the Wild Wild West, and Western Spring Television is pulling out all the stops to make sure that you don't miss out on every of the fun and happenings around you. Yup, we've got you covered because your girls got all the juiciest tidbits and entertainment news from around the world. Cross over to the chocolatey side of entertainment. Join me, Chocolate Cassie, on Eccentric as we take you into every bit of the juiciest news, fashion, music, movie updates, and other trending conversations. Together on the show, we'll get personal with your favorite celebrities via phone call, Zoom, or even live here in the studio. Eccentric will be shown on your TV screen on Western Spring Television, channel 190, only on Star Times.
Sports is a culture on its own. It has its own language, its own people, with their own way of life. The world of sports is never void of actions, stories, dramas, and scandals. I guess you need a sports show that can walk the walk and talk the talk.
On this show, we answer all your sporting questions. The whens, the whys, the wheres, and even the what ifs. Sports Spring is that show that will give you that new lease of life you've been looking for in sport journalism. Join me, Joseph Atewe,
And your sports Amazon, Nengi Ernest.
on this station, Western Spring Television, channel 190, only on Star Times.
Let's talk sports. Let's speak the most universal language of the world.
Evelyn Ohiole, King Eve. How are you today?
I'm good, I'm fine, I'm alive.
I really feel like she's not giving the right answer to the question. When one asks you, how are you? And you said, you're saying, I'm alive. It's very annoying, seriously. How are you? I'm fine. I feel I'm fine will be the right answer instead of I'm alive. Not that I asked you if you're dead before.
Go and check all these 14-year-old, 15-year-old, 16-year-old, everybody, they are extraordinarily sexually active.
I feel is being unnecessarily hyper when it comes to the issue of sex, because we talk about other topics and it feels so reserved.
All right, welcome back to the show Swing Sports on Western Spring Television. We apologize for that break. Before the break, we're talking about the FIFA World Cup and what to expect at the quarterfinal stage. We told you what Gianni Infantino is saying,
Yeah,
that
of
the
course.
group stages has been
The
adjudged to be
best
one
so
of the
far.
best. And let's move on because of time. We'll talk about Harry Maguire. He's in the news.
Yes, of course, he's in the news. But before we talk about Harry Maguire, let's talk about Hansi Flick. I mean, we've been able to see that some team managers actually dropped their job immediately. They exited from the group stage, the likes of the Iranian manager. And of course, Germany's manager was also on the verge of doing that. And aside from that, we had, what's his name? It's skipping my mind. But definitely, let's talk about Hansi Flick. Let's talk about the fact that he's going to remain as the Germany manager despite group stage exit. Is this a good thing at all?
Hansi Flick is a
for
good.
Germany?
Yeah, Hansi Flick is a good coach. Hansi Flick, I think, coached. He coached one of the clubs in Germany, Bayern or Dortmund. Not too sure here. And I think he's still managing both national
Team, yeah.
and club. You have coaches like that. Coaches do those things. So I'm not surprised that he's keeping his job. He's a good coach. It's just unfortunate that this happened to Germany.
To Germany, yes.
And
so fast.
forget the coach. The players too will need to do more. They need to up their game. They need to do more in terms of giving to their country better performance. And that is not what we are getting from the German national side. As I said the last time, which is confessions that have been made by ex-players and coaches, if you're not in line with your backroom staff, things won't work. It's like having a show and not being in line with your cameraman, your production team. It's going to end in tears. You understand? So something is wrong with the German national team. It goes beyond the players, it goes beyond the coach. They need to come back and resolve these things.
And of course, earlier in the week, actually, the technical director in person of Olivia Bierhoff had his contract ended in that one. And definitely not everybody from the back room would want to leave even after a group stage exit. And we're seeing the likes of Hansi Flick, you know, still steadying in as a German manager. And we do hope that in the next 4 years, let's see how Germany is going to perform. Because like I said before, and like I say every day, every other day, I mean, we have the golden generation, new ones emerging as at this time. So do you even see Germany?
No, I think the good news for the German national team is that, see, they have most of their players. Every competition they go for, 70–80% of those players play their trade in Germany. Most of the youngsters you have right now doing well still play in Germany. So they are used to the time. It's a system. But then something is just missing, and they need to fix it. I mean, they've been pushing since 2006. Got to the semi-finals in 2006. 2010 got to the semi-finals. 2014 won it in grand style. You understand? So something went wrong in 2018, and they thought it was the old set of players. Removed a lot of them. 2022 still the same problem. Something is wrong.
So definitely they need to go back to the drawing board. But do you see them even emerging in the next 4 years? The likes of Belgium, the likes of Iran, the likes of Germany also.
I think we need to conclude this World Cup first. After the World Cup, when we talk about the next. We need to run, so we must talk about Harry Maguire.
And of course, Harry Maguire, he is saying that he really believes in the fact that England can win the World Cup. Now, semi-finals 4 years ago in Russia, I think they messed up a bit. And for definitely this time around, if they are able to get that victory, I think a victory means that they might be able to take on Morocco or Portugal for a place in the first World Cup final since 1966. Do you see this happening?
It's a tough one. It's a tall order for the Three Lions. I mean, they're taking on the defending champions. And France. If you watch the way these guys play, they're not relenting. I mean, they don't care who you are. They come out you, and I want to get the job done by all means, and they have players in every position that can deliver. And one of their talisman in Kylian Mbappe, of course, I mean, look at what he has done so far. We hear that Karim might be coming back to the squad, talking about Karim Benzema. Olivier Giroud hasn't been bad. I mean, so look at the French national team up against the Three Lions. Give or take. They say football can be funny. They say anything can happen.
Not over until it is over.
I do not see England progressing past this stage.
Anyways, it's a belief of Harry Maguire as well as their captain in person of Harry Kane to be able to advance.
But he will also be part of the problem. He's also part of the problem.
Ooh, Harry Maguire.
If they don't qualify, they'll be part of the problem.
Anyways, England actually yesterday they held their training session against Saturday's match, and I can tell you for sure that Declan Rice was missing in training yesterday due to illness, and Callum Wilson is yet to return after picking up a muscle problem. And yesterday, 22 players actually trained yesterday. I mean, this squad as a whole, 22 players training, the likes of Callum absent, the likes of Declan Rice absent. I mean,
but that's a sign that injury might have rocked the team. And if these guys are not training, because sometimes when you find players not being part of the squad at training sessions, it's just a signal as journalists to know that something is wrong. I mean, we all knew at the training ground when we didn't see Chigozie Awazim and some other players, and we broke the news that these guys won't be playing even before we heard from Babajide Raji. I mean, before we heard from him, we knew that these guys weren't going to play. So with the news coming out, it has been confirmed, but we can tell you now that Declan Rice will not be a part of, or let me not say will not, may not be part of that game.
And
because,
the likes of Raheem Sterling and also Ben White are still absent after returning to the UK for personal reasons.
That's a huge blow for the Three Lions. All right, we're going to break right now, and let's just give you some of the best goals that was scored, that has been scored right at the FIFA World Cup so far. And when we come, there's a lot to talk about. Don't forget, we'll also take you to Asaba. We'll talk about the NWFL and the UEFA Champions League. I'm sure you're wondering what Champions League when the World Cup is on. We'll find out. Stick around.
Taken in a score from Senegal. Dia came flying through. An error for Qatar was costly. Headed, goal! Jeju, who led the team in scoring during World Cup qualifying. Got that one down, well done. Mohammed at the end line, drives it across, headed, goal! They've got their first, there's their moment. Cut back, quick shot, taken, goal! Dieng, the sub comes through again. come and close me down, and then I'm just going to dink it into an empty net. Cue celebration.
The try surely now, and it's there. It's the opening goal of the game, and it's Pyongyang. And it's saved by Szczesny. Oh! The polo, and it's a mistake, and it's a mistake, and it's punished. And finally, Robert.
Lionel Messi. Messi's heading on. That's what they came for. The Magic Man. Attention. Oh, sweet thing, wonderful goal. Enzo Fernandez with a peach.
And Duke with the header, brilliantly puts Australia ahead. A huge moment for the Socceroos.
All right, welcome back to the show Spring Sports on Western Spring Television. And those were some of the beautiful goals we saw at the World Cup, and we expect more when the quarterfinals starts tomorrow. We need to run, and we're going to Asaba right now. 146 gold medals are for Team Delta, and Zamfara not doing well. They're last on the medals table.
Anyways, before we get down to Asaba, do not forget to follow us on all our social media handles on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at Western Spring Television. And you can also watch us live and subscribe to our YouTube at Western Spring Television. Let's get down to Delta State right now, Asaba to be precise. Let's talk about Team Delta, who has been able to lead with 146 goals so far. And we have Team Edo following up as third and Bayelsa now second. You know, as at the start of this festival, I talked about the fact that we might as well see the likes of Edo, the likes of Bayelsa, the likes of Rivers, Lagos, you know, topping the table much more later. And I think that's what we're seeing now on day 7 of the ongoing National Sports Festival in Asaba. Team Delta retained their early and strong lead on the medals table at 3 p.m. on Wednesday, with the host states medal tallying totally 275 medals, 146 gold, 78 silver, and 51 bronze. Bayelsa and Edo State replaced each other on the table, with the former moving up second while the former dropped to second. Definitely, Joseph, I think it's going up well for Team Edo and Delta, to be precise.
Well, Team Delta State doing well. I mean, as we said yesterday, we said this time, I'm not as shocked that they are where they are right now. And 147 gold medals so far. That is massive for Team Delta. I believe they've won this competition.
And for Bayelsa, they have now won a total of 103 goals. But then definitely we are going to be seeing the return of Blessing Oburududu. And she says that she is at the National Sports Festival, that's the 21st edition, just to inspire upcoming wrestlers. Is this the same case as to the likes of Enekwenshi that, you know, participated in shot put so far, Joseph?
Well, I really don't know. But I don't know how these things have been designed. They're talking about having these athletes, you know, represent their different states here. And as I said, most of them are experienced. And, you know, if the competition is to discover talent, then it makes no sense. But then they've been able to clear the air, saying that the different categories, it's a festival, anyone can come. But then they still look out for some of these talents. And Nengi, please, because of time, I think we need to run. Let's move to the NPFL and talk about Eyimba. They're through to the round, the final round at the preseason tourney, and this competition comes with 100 million naira.
And yes, of course, for that one, I feel like Eyimba is doing well. I mean, they're two-time African champion and they're doing well in this preseason tournament. Of course, this is all set to prepare the likes of Eyimba, Rangers, 3SC, and of course, a Bendel Insurance for the NPFL that is coming up. I am so glad about this because for now, yesterday games were played and Eyimba, two-time African champions, actually won 4-3 over Bendel Insurance. Rangers played a 1-1 draw against their counterparts. And of course, today, matches will be seen played. Eyimba will be taking on Shooting Stars by 3 p.m. and of course Insurance will be taking on Rangers by 5 p.m. today. So far so good. I believe in the fact that Bendel Insurance has been able to talk about this one. I've been able to see the fact that the NPFL, it's no joke, and definitely when they are getting there, they would be wanting to, you know, stick up on their feet, do what they're supposed to do on the pitch, and even the backroom staffs get advices and motivation for them so far. But we're looking forward to the finals that come after today, and we do hope that they would be able to go better in that one, as the season would likely open this December.
And just before we go on a break, let's tell you that the federal government on Wednesday redeemed its pledge for housing unit to former Super Eagles coach Clement Wester of 28 years after winning the 1994 African Cup of Nations. And this was done by the Minister for Housing, Ministry of Works and Housing, Rajiv Fashola. And of course, it was represented by the Director of Public Building. His name is Solomon Labifilo. Alongside Clement Wester, we had 25 orders getting houses there. One will wonder why it takes 24 years, or it took 24 years to redeem the pledge they made to these guys. Many of them are dead.
You know, I'd like to say this, just like you always say too, this is Nigeria, that some things that work and some do not even follow as suit, and it is supposed to work. It was somebody in person of Clement Westerhoff. He coached Nigeria from 1989 to 1994, and it's just now they're trying to redeem the vow. We had the likes of Guinero. I mean, they were owing salaries up and down, and definitely they had to release this man. Pay him off? No. I mean, it's something we have to talk about.
The most annoying part about this will be that this still our best generation, best crop of players, I beg your pardon, that we had.
Yeah.
The 1994 set went on to 1996 and also did well. And you know, when you promise, you need to fulfill, because I mean they did the nation proud. At some point, it was this set that was ranked number 2 in the world. Yeah. We've never achieved it. No African country has ever achieved that when it comes to FIFA ranking. This set did that, but I still give kudos to this present administration. For doing this, at least past administrations. We had governments that came 8 years, nothing was done. But if they're doing it even with days or months to the end of their tenure, kudos to them. And I hope, we keep hoping that we'll come back and say this in the next 10 years, that some said that we promised so and so some years ago were not given.
You know, Joseph, kudos to them. Definitely they were able to do this one, but it's not right. And aside from that, do you still feel like Clement Westerhoff needs this house at this point in time?
It's not about if he needs it. I mean, who doesn't need a house? You get it? Who doesn't need a house? And definitely will need it. He has children. He has whatever it is. But many of them are dead. And I do not believe that they should be getting this reward at a time where, you know, things are not really going well for them, or maybe when they're old or something. But then the fact still remains that what was promised has been given. Has been fulfilled, and of course, these guys will go back to the books. Yes, it was late, but then we got what we asked for, and the federal government did redeemed its promise 24 years later. We need to go on a break right now. We talk about the UEFA Champions League when we come back. Arsenal ladies are on the verge of qualifying to the next round after beating the Juventus rivals 1-0. We'll also talk about Bayern Munich and Barcelona. An interesting encounter we saw at the Allianz Arena. 3-1. It ended. We'll be back.
Here's Miedema. To place that over again to Blackstenius. Big reach though from Pero Magnan to grasp that ball. Miedema. Across to Ford again. Blackstenius is making a way into the area. Ford. Big block by Peterson. Good work from Arsenal. Ford. Marnham wants it on the edge. Marnham. Well, it was tame. Peterson, picked up by Ford. The referee lets player go on. Lenzini had a little tug of the shirt on Ford. And now Blackstenius will chase this down. Blackstenius for Arsenal. Huge block coming in. I think it was Boateng that got there just in time.
Fantastic defending from Boateng.
Gandhi comes in, it's spilled by Pero Magnan. Miedemar came in. Back out to Marnham. And now Catley on the edge of the box. Ford. Marnham back in again. And towering over was Wubben-Moy. Couldn't quite direct her header on target.
Yeah, it was a lovely delivery there from Marnham. Got the first set piece comes in. Clearance out to Miedemar, calm and composed, just around their box and getting a line of passes, because Miedemar was free for quite a while in that pocket space, trying to pick up the ball.
Ford could be in here for all.
Here's Bronze. Might have another go. Patrick Haro, and he goes touched on by Paruelo. Buell losing out to Bronze. So back in again, touched on by Srna Gorcevic. Oh, the strength to see off Tainara. Get out of my way. And Malagos has... It's a lot better from Bayern's midfield. Led now by Stanway. Magool to her right. Here is Lena Magool, who hangs it up. Schüller! Bayern's scoring machine with a brilliant header. Group stage this season. Hung up delightfully by Magool. And Lea Schüller taking full advantage. What a dream night this is turning out to be for Bayern. Horst claims. Oh, close, in trouble, big trouble, and Barcelona have one back. A horror moment for Malagos. She wasn't giving this up. Now Barcelona are right back in the game now. 3-1.
All right, welcome back to the show, Spain Sports on Western Spain Television. Those were highlights for the matches played in the UEFA Champions League, the female version yesterday. Bayern Munich defeating Barcelona 3-1. The return, the first leg ended 3-1. No, I think 3-0 in favour of Barcelona at Camp Nou. And Arsenal defeated Juventus 1-0. Arsenal needs a point to scale through in the next competition.
And of course, for us now, there are 10 points on the table, you know, above Juventus. Juventus is on 5 points on that table. And congratulations to us now for putting one past Juventus ladies, because Juventus ladies are also elephants.
They're true.
Yes, of course, they drew in that one.
I mean, they're true to the next round.
Yes, of course, they're true to the next round.
I didn't even see that. Rosengard lost, so I think Arsenal are through to the next round.
And of course, Bayern Munich are on 9 points so far. Barca ladies on 9 points also. And then Rosengard on 0 points. Definitely, let's see how they can, you know, be able to move out from 0 points. And Benfica on 6 points so far. Leones ladies 7 points. And Zurich 0 points so far. So the likes of Rosengard and Zurich, we are hoping that they can be able to pull out from this group. But as for Viviane Miedema, I think she's a very good run for us now so far for the season.
It is 3-3 for Viviane Miedema, the Arsenal defender, or striker, I beg your pardon. And then what she's maybe to do, she's got 3 goals in 3 Champions League matches in the league. She's got 7, and that's a record for Arsenal, ladies. We must go past further the Champions League, but still talking female football, the NWFL, our own Oshun Babes were lost on the road. It's a tradition.
Anyways, yeah, definitely you would always want to say this. It's a tradition for every home team to be able to play at home and then win that match. But the match between Rivers Angels and Osun Babes, Rivers Angels were able to put 2 goals past Osun Babes, who only had 1 goal to their name yesterday. And Royal Queens also played against Niger Rattles. I was a bit surprised when Royal Queens were able to beat Niger Rattles 1-0. So are we still talking about the home advantage in this one, Joseph?
It's not the home advantage. It's the state government sponsoring the bills, sponsoring everything.
The welfare and everything.
Now look at the table. Let me show you. After 2 matches, the losses for almost all the teams away from home. There are wins for almost all the teams at home.
At home, yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Of course, Ibom Angels took on Abia Angels. They got that one 1-0 as against Abia Angels. Heartland Queens also went at home to play Delta, and Delta was able to get that one 2-0 as against Heartland Queens. FC Robo and Nasarawa Amazons, very strong teams in the Nigerian Women Football League so far. Even all throughout last season, they ended that one 0-0, and definitely points have been gathered in Group A and Group B. So we are looking forward to the likes of Bayelsa Queens, Delta Queens, Niger Rattles, Osun Babes, Rivers Angels, and Royal Queens in Group A. And as for Group B, Nasarawa Amazons, after drawing their match in a goalless draw yesterday, are still topping the group with 4 points. The likes of Adamawa, Edo Queens, Abia Angels, Iboms follow later part in the Group B.
And then you give it to Adamawa Queens, a force to welcome weight. Nasarawa Amazons looking good. Edo Queens, we hope they will bounce back and get the job done. But it's too early, and we have more than 9 matches to go.
Yes,
it's too early. And in Group A, for Osun Babes, I beg your pardon, I want to see them, you know, win the competition. I want to see them represent Nigeria.
Which year?
In the Champions League, the female version, but that will never happen.
Joseph,
thank you.
I mean, I acknowledge the fact that you were able to give that speech at the very last part. That might not happen for now. But let's move over to London Boso's team. Let's talk about the Flying Eagles. And definitely the Flying Eagles are taking a 2 weeks break just for them to be able to sort out, for those who do not have a passport yet, for them to be able to sort out the passport. And of course, in January also, they will have 2-week break. And do you think it's a very nice one for London Boso so far? Definitely invited about 40 players. He sent 15 home, and the remaining ones, I think they're doing well so far. I mean, holding friendly matches towards the AFCON for them.
It's a good one from London Boso, but Negi, you give us 1 hour. We'll be here talking sports. I can hear but different instructions behind the scenes. So a good one for London Boso. Cricket's Yellow Greens to face Tanzania. Good one for them as well. And
of course, they are also going to face Ghana. And we do hope that, because Ghana hasn't had a good run so far this season when we talk about cricket. And definitely, I believe that the Yellow Greens of Nigeria will be able to beat them to stupor this time around. And I do hope that they get something going for us against the 2024 Cricket World Cup. And the Under-17 AFCON, of course, the Golden Eaglets are to resume preparation for the AFCON next year. And definitely, they will get us past into that one also.
All right, for 2 minutes just before we leave, let's give you some 3-pointers. What is happening with the Lakers? The Boston Celtics getting the job done. LeBron James, of course, a triple-double he had yesterday. Let's see for 2 minutes, and we're back to talk about the NBA before we leave.
That was a pass. He gets it back and scores. 13 minutes, 3 points. Pretty Van Vliet, down the middle he goes, gets it baseline, all the way, scored again. For Siakam. 6 to shoot.
Another block shot.
Yeah. They're just having their way defensively with the Lakers right now. And the Lakers are not even back. It's 3-on-2, and they score the easy with the points off the turnovers. There's 2 turnovers tonight for Toronto. So in a game that they figured they would be a big favorite, and they would figure they would come in and probably weekend. One of those situations, they just played them. So they're going to play them 3 times in 9 days. We did that with San Antonio. The Raptors are getting a little careless. Very much so. They might call a timeout. A little careless. Anunoby. OG has an 0-for-6 night going from 3, but he's got a bunch of rebounds. Scotty Barnes would run down the shoot. Scotty went to FSU for a year. Austin trying to negotiate into the key. JTA in the corner. That's pretty. Bring it up for Juan Toscano Anderson. Was quickly off the bench.
kind of a double team on Reeves as he tried to bust in. Going to get the long rebound though in the fresh 14. Baseline he goes. Counted and one for Austin.
He makes more of those kind of shots. Down to 16.
By the way, Austin, the only Laker to play in all 23 games this year. Second to AD in overall minutes. So one guy has played in every game. He's got the basketball right now. Here he is turning and trying to get to the rim. Austin is there and he scores. Move it to now.
My beautiful scenes from the NBA we have to say about, but then results from matches played. The Lakers, did they get the maximum 3 points?
And no, of course.
They lost.
They didn't. They lost in that one,
Raptors,
actually,
yeah.
against the Toronto Raptors. 126 to 113 points so far. And we had the likes of Atlanta Hawks, you know, facing up New York Knicks, and New York Knicks was able to gather all 113 to 89 as against Atlanta Hawks.
And what is wrong with the Detroit Pistons, the 98 to 104 against the struggling New Orleans Pelicans?
I think everything is wrong, especially when you have to start a season like this. But most definitely, some of these teams, I mean, they had the preseason games, and let's see how far it pans out to be. Detroit Pistons, New Orleans Pelicans, 104 against Detroit Pistons, 98. And of course, Boston Celtics, my team. It's a lovable team so far. They got 125 to Phoenix Sun, 98. They won't. I mean, these people were able to get to the finals of last season.
They will.
I do not see them crashing out anytime soon. I see them going to the finals again this time around. Why do you always see teams crashing out? Even in the World Cup, everybody, they crash out.
They crash out.
Anyways, let's move to fixtures.
The Indiana Pacers are the Minnesota Timberwolves. And at some point, the Indiana Pacers were leading, but what went wrong? I think they lost it in the third quarter.
And of course, definitely there are games to be played also the early hours. LA Clippers against Miami Heat, Houston Rockets against San Antonio Spurs, Denver Nuggets against Portland Trail Blazers.
All right, that's the show then. We have to go.
Definitely.
The
Thank you.
party starts tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
The
I mean, Joseph, I miss watching football. I mean, this few days, just 2 days off, but then definitely we're missing so much controversies. We're missing so much things on that pitch, and it's a very nice one. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Nengi NS, and do not forget to follow us on all our social media handles on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at Western Spring Television, and you can also watch us live and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Western Spring Television. Have a blissful day ahead.
The party starts tomorrow, the quarterfinals of the World Cup. My name is Joseph Atewe, and I cannot wait to see Argentina and Brazil pack their bags and travel back to South America. Good morning.
Sports is a culture on its own. It has its own language, its own people,